you're an author with a completed first draft but you're not sure how to plan revisions, or you just have heard a lot about authors doing revisions or writing second drafts and stuff like that and you're not quite sure what that looks like, this video might be for you. If you watched my vlog, you know that I started planning revision for the second draft of my fantasy fairy tale retelling. And I kind of just wanted to show you guys what that process can look like for an author. For me, it's actually mostly takes place on pen and paper. Considered putting planning my revisions via Google Comments because I use Google Docs to write, but something about that just feels overwhelming. I don't know what it is. So I like my journal. I just go through and I read through the entire manuscript and I write, these are the changes that I want to make, these are the edits that I want to make. That's what I do when I plan revisions. I did that with my YA contemporary that is now getting ready to start querying, yay, and that's what I'm doing here. Yesterday I got through chapter 1 and that was a long process. I'm pretty sure that chapter 1 is only like 10 pages, but it took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours to get through the entire thing because I write down things that I want to improve or just general edits that I want to make. And so I want to take you guys through a little bit of that process with me today, show you what kind of notes I make at this stage of the process. I'm only a couple of paragraphs in, but I think I found some good examples for the notes that I take at this stage, getting into the second draft. The first note that I made is about the beginning of the chapter that says that words that are said at the end of the chapter follow the MC through the next however many years. And I read that sentence and then I just kind of move on and I was like, okay, well, I didn't really give an explanation for what that looks like for the MC. Do the words like repeat in her head, or does she dream about them, or does she constantly speculate about what the words could mean, that sort of thing. The comment I made about the characterization that isn't necessarily wrong here or bad here, but I would like to change personally just because I think it fits my story better, is I want the character, because there's a bit of a time jump between chapter 1 and chapter 2, I'm actually thinking about making chapter 1 a prologue. I want the character to grow up more in the sense that she's mature for her age, which I'm not really seeing reflected in the character right now. Those are just examples of notes that I make for myself, and then what I'll do later once I'm done with this, which honestly is probably going to take several weeks, I will then start writing the second draft, and I'll keep my journal handy along with my character bios, which are on my computer, and the first draft as a reference point, and then go through and write an entirely new draft as the second draft. It's actually the first time that I've ever done that, like written an entirely new draft instead of just editing the first one, but I think that's honestly going to be a lot better than just trying to edit to the first one, because then it'll be like its own evolution of the story and not just a fixed version of the original story. Let me know if you guys want to hear more about this or if you have any questions, but otherwise, thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the journey, friends.